The desert is a theater of extremes. I mean, think about that for a second. In this theater, a drop of water is an absolute luxury. A tiny patch of shade, that's a prize you fight for. To the untrained eye, this barren, hostile landscape seemingly belongs entirely to the cold-blooded. You might instantly think of scorpions, Gila monsters, or the undisputed masters of stealth, venomous snakes. But right in the middle of the dust, the rocks, and the thorns reigns an incredibly unlikely executioner, a creature that defies basically all expectations. It doesn't have massive claws. It doesn't even have a venomous bite of its own. And yet, it strikes pure terror into the hearts of the desert's most feared predators. Okay, let's dive into this, the Greater Roadrunner. Now, pop culture has painted this massive myth, right? We all know the comical, harmless cartoon character perpetually running away from some clumsy coyote. But the reality of the desert tells a far darker and honestly way more fascinating story. Picture this. Suddenly, a streak of brown, white, and black feathers zips across the barren ground with astonishing speed, comes to a dead stop, and kicks up this tiny cloud of dust. Yeah, the real Roadrunner is no victim. It is a highly evolved, cold-blooded assassin.
So, Part 1. Anatomy of an Assassin.
To really understand how this ground-dwelling member of the cuckoo family absolutely conquers the desert, we've got to look at how it's built. It is engineered for one singular, brutal purpose: the hunt. While most birds are designed to dominate the sky, the Roadrunner has definitively claimed the earth. Its evolutionary architecture relies on being zygodactylous. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, it means the bird has 2 toes facing forward and 2 facing backward. It forms this perfect X shape. And this unique physical structure, it's an absolute evolutionary marvel. It gives the Roadrunner an extraordinary grip on shifting sands and loose gravel. Because of this perfect X shape, the bird can change direction in a fraction of a millisecond, literally executing razor-sharp 90-degree turns without losing a single ounce of momentum. And because of that incredible grip, we get to this staggering number: 26 miles per hour, or over 40 kilometers per hour. When the Roadrunner runs, it doesn't just move, it practically flies across the ground. It is, in fact, the fastest running bird in the entire world that's still capable of flight. So the really crucial point here is, why fly when you can simply outrun your prey? And this brilliantly illustrates how it achieves such ground dominance. It's all about perfectly evolved anatomy. Its long, muscular legs act as these massive, powerful shock absorbers, taking all the impact of that rock-hard desert floor. Meanwhile, its exceptionally long tail serves a dual, absolutely vital purpose. It acts as a counterweight for perfect balance and as a high-velocity rudder for steering at those insane speeds. Because of this biology, with just a single leap, it can snatch a grasshopper right out of mid-flight, land gracefully, and swallow it whole in one effortless gulp. But, you know, grasshoppers and beetles, those are just snacks. They merely satisfy a fleeting hunger. Part 2. Enter the Diamondback. The Roadrunner's true reputation in the desert is forged not in insects, but in blood and scales. Deep within the dark shadows of the low-lying rocks, a completely different kind of predator emerges. Heavy-bodied and incredibly dangerous, we are talking about the Western Diamondback Rattlesnake. Lying neatly coiled under the shade, this is an apex predator of the undergrowth. Just look at its arsenal. Thick, diamond-shaped scales, cold, unblinking, slit-like eyes, a forked tongue that darts into the air, literally tasting the heat signatures of the desert landscape. And, most terrifyingly of all, it's armed with a pair of retractable, hollow fangs, loaded with a cocktail of hemotoxic venom. This venom is literally designed to dissolve flesh and destroy blood cells. A single bite can kill a creature many times its size within mere hours. And then comes the sound. I want you to imagine the absolute terror this high-pitched sound causes in almost every living creature out here in the desert. The rapid, iconic shaking of a rattle. It sends pure chills down your spine. Most animals hear that sound and they flee in absolute panic. They know, deep down in their DNA, that it means they need to step back immediately or face certain death. But to a hungry Roadrunner, that sound isn't a warning, it is a dinner bell. This bird possesses a biological tolerance and a psychological fearlessness that is almost impossible to comprehend. It doesn't run away. It actively hunts the most terrifying inhabitants of the desert. Part 3. The deadly standoff begins. The second that rattle echoes across the rocks, the Roadrunner's crest immediately perks up. Its piercing eyes lock onto that shady patch beneath the rocks, maybe 40 feet away. It tilts its head, listening intently. perfectly calibrating the exact distance to its lethal target. Slowly, the bird drops its body low to the baking desert ground, transitioning into a highly calculated stalk. Deliberately, every single step is silent. Its body remains perfectly level. It moves with the intense, terrifying focus of a sniper closing in on a target. A literal clash of titans is unfolding right here on the burning sands. Evolution has pitted these two creatures against each other for millennia, perfectly honing their lethal skill sets. The snake, it relies on its lightning-fast strike, a deadly lunge taking less than 1/10 of a second. But the Roadrunner, it relies on something even faster, its lightning-quick nervous system. Now, the whole desert essentially holds its breath. A single mistake by the Roadrunner means a highly toxic, agonizing death. But a single mistake by the snake, that means becoming a meal. Stepping right out of the bright sunlight, the Roadrunner stands directly in front of the coiled rattlesnake. The snake rears its head back, pulling its neck into a tight, incredibly tense S shape, the universal posture for an immediate lethal strike. But the bird, it doesn't even flinch. Instead, it opens its wings just slightly, fanning them out almost like a matador's cape. It uses them to taunt, to distract, to completely overwhelm the serpent's senses. And for a moment, they just stare into each other's eyes, completely frozen. It is the ultimate battle of speed versus venom, mind versus reflex. Two perfectly evolved killers locked in a standoff where only one is gonna walk away. So as we wrap up this explainer, I leave you with this to consider. Speed versus venom. Who survives the burning sands?